So it's Friday, and we are in day 11 of the February Real Food Challenge. And one of the questions that I've had this week, now that people are really starting to understand that they need to kind of focus on their macronutrients and what those numbers look like, people are really struggling on how to meet those numbers. What can we be doing to increase the level of nutrition that people are getting without necessarily blowing the budget and literally eating constantly? Well, I have to say I eat pretty much all the time in order to get the nutrients that I need in my body, but it doesn't have to be that difficult for people if you're prepared. Now, you guys know that being prepared, preparation, planning, all those things are really, really big in my book in order to be healthy. And quite honestly, it's something that has carried into every aspect of my life about journaling about things, keeping lists about things, developing systems and routines around everything that I do in my life that are things that I'm going to repeat every day or things that I need to repeat every day. I just create this routine and it seems to work for me. And so I have a routine that I want to share with you, or a process that I want to share with you that really helps me reach the nutrients, that get the macronutrients that I need for my body. Now, if you've followed along with any of my videos or listened to me talk at all about what I eat, I do eat a variety of foods, but I'm pretty constant and consistent about what I eat because of years and years of tracking my food and years of journaling about food allergies and food sensitivities. So I have quite a demanding digestive system when it comes to those things. So if there's a food group out there or a supplement or anything out there, I try it so that I can talk educated about it, just not only just from from a professional standpoint, but also as a personal standpoint. I want to know what it does in my body in case I have reactions to something, or I find a new product that I like even better. And so in today's conversation, I want to briefly go over how I include supplementation into my diet so that I can reach the numbers that I have to have. If you haven't heard or don't remember, I eat roughly 300 grams of protein a day, about 360 or 380 grams of carbohydrates, and about 90 to 100 grams of protein, of fats. And so reaching those numbers of proteins, carbs and fats can be very difficult from a standpoint of just shoving that much food in your body. So I want to talk a little bit today about supplementation. So for all of you guys who are here in the challenge with me, I'm trying to do my very best to guide you as you put your food, document your food in the website or in your posts every day, trying to give you some ideas of some numbers that you want to increase. And one of those things is proteins. How do I get more protein in my diet? So many of you that are posting, you don't eat protein at all. You're starting your breakfast out with literally nothing but coffee, or you're not eating breakfast at all, or you're just eating, fruit. And for lunch, you're eating nothing but cheese and grapes. And there's no real protein in any piece of that. And so I want to help you understand that protein is very, very important to us, and we need to get that in there, but we don't know exactly how to get proteins in our body without immediately thinking I just need to eat more chicken or more meat. And that's not necessarily the answer. So, also a little side note is I'm mostly vegetarian. I do eat a few items of meat, but if I eat real meat, if I eat animal products more than once or twice back to back, if I had meat, for example, 3 days in a row or 3 meals in the same 3 days that have meat in it, then my digestive system can't break that down, and I start to have a lot of digestive discomfort. So I only eat meat about once every other day or once every third day. So the rest of my proteins come from other protein sources, and there are lots of vegetables and other foods that have proteins. But one of the easiest ways to get good quality proteins, and just in general good quality nutrition, is to have supplementation products that are at your disposal at any time so that you can quickly and easily get the nutrition that you need. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of supplements out there. I mean, it's the supplement industry is a huge moneymaker for these companies that are out there. And unfortunately, so much of the supplement world is not regulated by the FDA or the government. You can pretty much put whatever you want to in a lot of these products, and the government really can't doesn't have any recourse against you. Now, there are nutrition labels on most all the products, so you can at least see what's on them, but realize that most of that stuff is not regulated. So when you're reading reviews or you're seeing labels, you have to take all of that with a grain of salt. So I'm going to give you a real live example for you guys. If I said, I want you to start eating more protein, one of the things people start to do is they start to budget. They go through and they think, all right, I'm going to go to Costco and I'm going to pick up this box that has lots of protein shakes in it. And it's inexpensive. There's a lot of them in there. It's easy. They're in little shaker cups that are already made for you. You just have to open it, chill it, and open it and drink it. Unfortunately, a product like that is cheap is made from proteins that are not necessarily good quality. Most protein in protein supplements comes from whey, which is a milk protein. And basically all it is during the manufacturing of milk, there is a fallout of sludge in the containers that is the whey, and they just collect the whey, they dry it, and they put it in these containers. So it's literally the leftovers from the milk containers that isn't very good quality. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't some really good whey products out there that are healthier and that are good, but as with everything, you get what you pay for. Okay, I want you to hear that clearly. You get what you pay for, and we are talking about the food that you put in your body that nourishes your body. So if you went to the doctor and the doctor said, well, you have a heart disease, let's make it even more tragic. Let's say that you have cancer and the doctor gives you three options. Here's cancer treatment A, B, and C. Now, this treatment is cheap. It's got second quality, third quality products in it. It may or may not be healthy for you, and it isn't regulated by the government, but it's cheap. So you can put this in your body and we'll treat your cancer. And then there's this other product out here that's really, really, really expensive that has tons and tons of research and tons of really cool stuff in it that's just absolutely cutting edge. And it's really expensive because it's cutting edge. And then there are 4 or 5 other options usually in between based off of quality and efficacy of the drugs that are in it. Well, there's no difference in that than there is supplements that are out there in the store when you start looking around at price. They're cheap for a reason. And food, if you don't realize this already, food is no different than drugs. Medication that you put in your body is nothing more than synthesized products on our planet that are digestible, things that we are finding in plants, things that we're finding in shellfish, things that we're finding in minerals on the ground. They're all things here on this earth that we're just ingesting, which is no different than the food that you're putting in your body. So when it comes to finding a good supplement that works for you, stop thinking that it needs to be cheap because you're on a budget. The better quality you put in your body, the better your results will be. So I want to share with you real quickly what my cabinet looks like. Now, I have a cabinet dedicated because this is a food item for me. I have an entire cabinet dedicated to nothing more than my supplements, the things that I take on a daily basis. So I'm going to share that with you. And there we go. There's the picture of my cabinet. Now, this is a current shot. This was actually taken this morning of my cabinet. Now, I want you guys to look along the bottom shelf. So that bottom shelf down there are all the major things that I use on a day-to-day basis. So on far left is a company called Naked Nutrition. And they produce products. You see that Naked P, Naked PB, and Naked Shake on there. These products are manufactured by one of the leading nutrition companies in the world. Okay. Those products have hardly anything in them except the highest quality pea protein. I use pea protein instead of animal protein. I don't use whey. I use pea protein in those. And that's, for example, that chocolate pea protein you see there in the middle shelf is nothing more than pea protein, cacao powder for the chocolate because I like chocolate, and coconut for the sweetness. It uses coconut for sweetener. There's no stevia. There's no aspartame. There's no sugar. There's no nothing. It's 3 things. But when you go to Costco, when you pick up that item and you look at the back of it, there are 15 items on the list that you can't even pronounce. And those things are preservatives and sweeteners and all kinds of things that your body doesn't know what to do with. So I start with really good quality proteins. That Naked Pea is my go-to for everything. Right beside it is Naked PB, that's peanuts. So I like my chocolate peanut butter shake in the morning. So that is nothing more than ground peanuts. There's nothing else in it. There's no salt, there's no sugar, there's no nothing. It's ground peanuts. That is it. So I take those two things, and down on the bottom, you'll see where it says that 24 number, and there's another product beside it. Those are 2 meal replacements. 2 meal replacements. A meal replacement is different than protein because meal replacement has carbs and fats in it to make it a full meal. But what I do is I mix these products together to create the ideal breakfast for me, the ideal meal. And that meal has 48 grams of protein. It has 70 grams of carbohydrates, and it has around 90 grams, around 25 grams of fat. So it starts off my entire day with the perfect meal for me. And I get that in a shaker cup. I get it in a cup. I put it in my blender, blend some ice in it, put some oat milk in it, and I blend it up. That is literally all I have for my breakfast. That's how I start my day. So on those in there, there's other things in there. You'll see there's a naked cookie. They make a cookie. If you're a sweet tooth person, I'm not really a sweet person, but I have to have so much food and protein that I buy products like this to have something different than just drinking a shake all the time. So those naked cookies are literally a protein shake in cookie form, and they are so good. That's a chocolate chip cookie there. Underneath there are protein bars. Those are my favorite protein bars. They're gluten-free, they're sugar-free. They've got great taste, great protein, and great balance. On the right, the far right over there are some things like cinnamon and stevia. If I need to add stevia to my shake or anything, then that's where my stevia lives. On that middle shelf, there are some other things. Those are some pre-workout things. There is that product there on the far right on the second shelf called Isopure. That's actually a protein powder that tastes like fruit punch when I mix it up. I've got 2 different products like that, and I bounce back and forth between them. And the top line is just some of the extras that I have. I always, because I'm routine, I always have backups. There's always 2 of everything in my cabinet. And when I take one of them out, I noticed this morning that my pea protein, I noticed this morning that that chocolate, the black canister on the bottom is getting a little low. So I need to add that to my list to order this week so I don't run out. So for me, I always have everything like this on hand. I keep it on hand. I keep it in the cabinet. I have a routine based around when I order things. I put those on. You'll see back here on my refrigerator right here, I have a little dry erase board. There's a list, an ongoing list on there of everything that I run out of. I go ahead and write on that list. So every week when I do my orders for the grocery store or for Amazon or for the naked protein, naked nutrition company, I already have those things ready to go, and I don't ever run out of them. So that's how I get mine. I actually do 3 shakes a day like that. I have a cookie or a protein bar. I have lots of things in there that I use on a daily basis. And that's how I get the food that I need in my body, not just my food, but those items, those supplements are also food. They're not just, don't think of them as shakes, think of them as food. They're real food. And that's how I get the good nutrients in my body without having to eat more chicken or eat more rice or eat more stuff. So when you're struggling to reach your numbers and you're struggling to get your stomach right and you're struggling with your hunger, have some of those things on hand so that you're already ready to go. If you've got questions on any of those, you need to know where to get them. I can help you get to them. I even have coupon codes for some of those things if you want to try, but definitely give those things a try. Before you go out and buy any of those types of products, I would suggest you visit with your coach so you don't go waste money on products that aren't helpful and products that are just really a waste of your money. All right, that's it for today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. See you next time.